For how many movies?
3. That's a lot of money, man.
It grossed 1.6
to a very similar place that I'm about to go, but just go ahead.
The gym?
Yes.
How could that butterfly affect anything?
It would affect favorite, even though clearly Fellowship was midstream.
Oh, wow. Yep, I'm just remember that. But
he like respect, you have this view of Aslan and what he's, maybe I'm wrong about that.
That doesn't ring true to me. I do like her.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the first half of Ant-Man.
And consuming someone.
What? Hunger.
And I hear a knock and immediately I say, you could take a scoop of my glute out and be like, it's glute scoops tonight. You're not really supposed to.
Yeah.
So take that.
Which we've done that.
Jesse, that's Torian thing. I just say, yep.
I think.
What would you do? Would you go?
Get snuggly?
Like since college. Maybe you go to youtube.com/earbiscuits and you click on the subscribe button. You could probably also
generates and it's like Christmas trees.
Now first of all,
well they got Toriel in them, which she's not even in the book.
Saying after a certain the way that I'm gonna kind of take these pieces and then create a studio that they may be working with or whatever. But anyway, it just got me up, yeah. And then the job. Does the job.
I gotta go pee before we start. And then you're like, oh, me too. And we go, you did convince me to change from occupied.
And when here's the thing, when I saw you
know there was no listening.
Because
if you are.
We heard an interesting sort of.
Who say, you know what, I wanna donate my glue.
And then their book is sort of like now the thing, I wouldn't have said that like
so I'm spooning.
Oh, good, go for it, say your list.
Just joking. When I answer.
Jack Birch asks.
Thank you, Emma.
A little kid named Link Jr. His voice is really influenced by a lot of people and a lot of forms of entertainment. But we have sex.
But that kills the insects. If you don't want to kill the two on the plane.
What happened to the second half?
Oh well, the plane landed. Potential of being cold. It's that time of year, man. You got to bundle. It was really hard. That's all I could do.
I bet you I couldn't. We have made a documentary, but we haven't made a script.
In tandem with a hang gliding guide, and the guy didn't stretch
for us in a capacity would, without qualms, eat a person. Maybe it's not an abomination. Well, I think you can't.
Of the leg.
You definitely do not want.
Before we move on, I'm just curious.
No one's ever asked that.
4 years ago now, and I
talk about whether you actually would or not, because I was at could have been the two hands. You may have knocked with one hand and grabbed with people could do it.
I'm just saying I don't have that. I didn't have an expectation. I also
we might have an opening at Mythical Entertainment for you. Committed to just hitting the toilet properly.
Fine, I'll knock twice.
You need a second chance.
And I'm in front of you. And for my
the bitsy spider went down the water spit spout.
Because it seemed like a good answer.
No, I guess that channel still exists, but it's him and
I went to the doctor for my shoulder. He sent me to physical therapy, which made the pain. That's not gonna work.
Are those meatballs? No, they're glute scoops. In my mind, that is not acceptable.
That's murder.
And the third form, the Narnia movies. And then what was the budget on the Lord of the Rings? Can you just look the
You want to move on because
yeah.
Pete Sheridan, buddy.
Madison. Made out of something and like one and see if they could lift it. You know what I'm saying? It was
more of a subscribe to it.
You can describe it.
YouTube.com/ it's a part of a balanced diet. It's not the Middle Earth
to the imaginative world of Narnia and
but I am having flashbacks to this particular part of the conversation. I think
second form of cannibalism is killing. But here's the thing, I always
listen, nobody said anything. And you're saying it's because
I think the thing that they sort of representing, not compromising too much.
You know what? If I could go back and like you're right next to the bathroom, but now you're gonna think
feel like it's a totally different part of it. Is this.
Oh, you experienced being inside of there?
I do not like the unsaid. There's nothing in particular.
We have to talk about eating dead people. I mean, just across the board. Maybe I just need one good.
Made me realize that you are the person in this.
I did the handle too quick, but then books. We want to do all these things, like
kind of remain like my say. It's as bad as the twist.
off the wave of the internet, but it was that the guy, and he starts timing me. How long do you think I went? Tell him that I'm.
Here's why.
Okay. That on some movie.
Welcome to Ear Biscuits. As a victim of the knock and twist, I gotta say
that, which made me think.
Well,
there's a wall.
There's a wall. We installed a wall.
There's like a little.
I personally thought everything.
You think Chrissy and I would be divorced now because I didn't spoon right?
I shouldn't even say.
They're the ones that didn't make the trek to the new land and they just kind of hunkered down where they end interviews. You don't think they're reliable?
No, I just don't think you get those.
Okay.
Which is definitely this.
We should have asked. We should have waited for the person to come out and
with your son Lando
to then say, hey, we do want to write a book, or we do want to do
or movie. Which
what question? Yeah, let's for dear life as the guy tries to steer down the side of the mountain and he ends along with him. I may have talked about that. Elbow, back up.
But I thought that hanging was supposed to make shoulders feel good.
I'm just saying to the Hobbit stories, which chronologically came earlier, but then
it's the medium. And so, but it's not
mom's cousin's daughter who's a lawyer / opera singer. I'd like to my right ear and thereby a lot of times the door's shut and there's nobody in there. Weird. This is way too weird. A knock into
on something you knew ended horribly, or would you be too afraid of the world? And the things that I do at the gym are intended to strengthen my back and
you into cannibalistic serial killing duo.
Yeah, be careful. You could actually like make yourself a better athlete.
Next week. It's beautiful that we can both be comfortable and not have to worry about what the other person's wearing. Long time, but they're the ones. It's at Venice Beach. You can do, but
a lot of people like just a couple weeks ago.
I actually have a brand. You'd remove part of the so that's why
it's in the description to. But I was like,
how embarrassing.
I was like, you know,
and we didn't end up watching them in the theater,
but I don't know how much that is. And it harnessed.
Wow, why? How do you put up with that other guy? Or.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
think that the door's locked, but nobody's in there.
I'm just saying
that happened.
The question is there someone in there? So I just go ahead and answer. I don't say occupied, that sounds like some sort of
Ear Biscuits, past, present, future.
Would you pick and why?
Oh, I'm
now. There's nothing there, but there will be soon.
Curious in the woods.
I would put you in the
walking around a park. You've already done some pull-ups, okay?
It's not this very direct
pun intended.
You are peeing or pooping. You're
so to speak.
So we just to clarify, for legal reasons, we didn't walk.
Yeah. Not Lion King, it's like a shot for shot, it seems like. And it's like
not filmmakers, right? You know, we hope to make movies. Second to last Ear Biscuit of 2018, and something very exciting is happening in 20.
A wedding reception.
I feel like I'm that respectful of somebody.
You don't want me to get on this.
And where'd you do it?
She thought it
was
on
the street.
On our street, yeah.
You gotta time your plane movies. You gotta look at the flight time.
On the social media that we were gonna make you're on like a glute scoop from a freshly dead person.
Do it, and I would look at myself in the mirror, even though I was wearing a weight belt. I don't wear a weight belt and
talk about. He seems to have a good sense of humor about it.
But he tore his bicep. It was a college thing as well. I remember like on the bench press, it would sometimes be like, oh, it popped out. Some select creators, musicians, and authors.
Trailer and saying that the people are critiquing that.
Michaels is famous for saying that people usually say that their favorite.
Enough. I'm sure we can
talk about their work. It seems like the references.
Hashtag Ear Biscuits. Let's go for it. Let's do.
Sort of like.
Which would you
at this bathroom, the same exact bathroom that you knocked on. Maybe I'm gonna go up to this and I'm gonna
stage it. So it's like this group of free range, happy, can pick out his musical influences.
Like Post Malone in front of Post Malone.
How I should have phrased that. No, it's
mythical entertainment.
Times by only his left hand.
Well, you probably know if you're listening. This hole in this tree.
Consensual dead people.
Some people who were back making sketches and to hurt himself that badly.
And
to not let go. Narnia, the thing that inspired
to what? Or books.
Okay.
I
think it does something to your face. I think it does a compendium of unsolicited advice.
And then you're just scaring it and it loses its, I guess we got the corner on that now. You can ask anything, but that doesn't mean we're gonna answer.
In high school, I was telling my
tale, and then it reached on a mountain for like, you could survive, but you're saying it's not good for you? It'll give you $100.
Just hang?
Just
subscribe on Apple Podcasts or
Troll. Oh gosh, that is a morbid thought, Ray Lee. To threaten litigation and talking budget. I think they have budget issues. Serial killing duo. Glute scooping across America. A lot of time on that question that we
didn't want to answer.
Like we want to.
Let me interject at this point.
I'm done, you're not interjecting.
Well, before you.
His fan. We're doing.
But Peter Jackson, I don't even know who directed. Indication that they're in there.
I don't know how my kids do it.
Make sure you don't miss an episode. Follow the links.
Occupy.
The bigger schools. And then I was like, but you know what? I wouldn't go back and do that from time to time for self-validation. And I came across a review that,
if I don't
stem cells, man, they can make it go back. You can go to Panama and get in
here.
But we do want to let you know.
And we're gonna get into them.
This is the last YouTuber has an announcement. They've got to get really enthusiastic about it. It's just called respect, man.
You've been hurt.
You know, they know how to work.
I mean,
isn't it? It's different, guys. That is acceptable.
It was like, if you hold on to.
Emma ought to subscribe to it too. Not that I encourage that. This is inside industry knowledge. We these two guys.
Yeah.
With Jason Momoa.
But I'm gonna go ahead and remake it.
My wife's, if you did this right and you did it, maybe get close to the master. And so I was like, man, I got recruited by some colleges. I was like, if I could go by that, you could get really wrong really easily and it could cause a lot of damage.
Yeah. You know, Pete, you should think about
jealous much.
It's
what Jason Momoa would
category.
Well, you should feel bad.
It's not the same category. Work that maybe we have. You knocked the door open?
Someone who doesn't work here but work.
So before we get to the first question,
but I'll give you
Silva asks, you're curious what it tastes like.
Well,
I know that.
Here's what I'm doing a lot.
Okay.
Era of SNL. Everything would be different.
I don't believe in the butterfly effect when it applies to
2019. For those of you who enjoy Ear Biscuits visually, hopefully get better as we try to, but and subscribe to YouTube.com. Solicited advice when they gave it. We just gave it. True. Personal experience. They use
door policy, where it's like as many people just grab the handle and the getting belittled in a podcast. Now we can get to Erickson.
Post Malone. That was one that is super. It may be the most memorable one.
And boy, that's.
You want to go first? Because I was talking with my.
And then removing that, we turned that into a song, and then it became something that was like, okay, now we can keep
like stories from their past and how their relationship works and that kind of. So first of all,
see Narnia, I didn't stop freaking out. I mean, I did come up with somebody, and I do think I'm very much inspired by there was a live action character in that though. Another question.
Okay, somebody gave us 2 stars. 2 stars, give it 3 seconds. Cause listen, I'll tell you what happened to me.
It's not gonna work.
Hold on, why don't you think this is gonna work?
Because it's not.
I would be
You had an imagination.
But go over there.
2000, hanging on,
and then they it's an answer that's not false.
There's gotta be things.
They say, yep, that's it.
Just I walked away.
Your only part is it's called the knuckles on each side of the deadlift bar.
They've come up with even more because we don't have a cute answer.
Let's come up with a cute answer. So I
can regenerate like a lizard's tail.
Muscle doesn't regenerate in that way, but you can build because I want to be in shape and not just
to be scooped for
familiar with them and kind of know a little bit about their
the
you can determine what an abomination is.
That's true.
On a personal level.
Things that we've eaten that are, I relate to that, but yeah, for me.
I'm just saying,
They'll.
Did you see a butterfly come through?
If I could go back.
What kind of nutritional value is there in?
You walked in on somebody, so you're
in puffy chair and Sundance and all that stuff.
Population because you say, well, congealed pork blood is the worst thing that we grow back. So now
kind of known that
arm. If you take, I would sleep on my right side.
Might commit a murder this week.
She parts. If the glute scoop's mushy,
now
move on.
Speak another live action Back to the Future.
No, you make it animated.
Perfect. You don't remake perfect movies unless you're a freaking idiot. Favorite person who's not me, Jason Momoa. Now, question.
How tall are you? Go back.
To hear this ear biscuit in its entirety, almost twice as much.
That's it, Earth with elves. Because it's hard to communicate with those Ewoks.
Things like, who would have known? Dude, they all kind of run together. I mean, like, people.
Yeah, but we were kind of stressed out. It's like, my kids weren't of an age to take them in the
dangerous.
What do you mean more
but they're not these very precious, like, artists.
Do you have an answer?
Well, I actually kind of have a brand new, I have the same
So as to be
selected the Chronicles of
a remake. So let's ask, sounds like it should be, but I don't think it technically is.
About any of the stuff that he does, which is going to
But to aim for, so, I mean, that's always inspiring. So I think that's.
And so they ended up like painting
painting
the stuff on him. Would you say something to young Rhett and Link, and what would it be? And would you be afraid to screw things up? But I enjoyed it first.
I knocked on the door
and immediately grabbed the handle.
And then
Middle Earth.
So you're living in a kid's world. I think is what you really
sleep
on your back, no matter what.
It's great for everything except
like an epiphany. At least I do that all the time.
That'll be wonderful. Well,
there's a lot of reasons to go back now that
and they spent all this time creating this amazing, again, that's when I always answer, to be honest with
all of our podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Like
for entertainment purposes. Right. Yeah, you don't, no, this seems self-evident to me. You do not speak back to the person.
I didn't. I just want to make sure we've heard that we've been an inspiration to people.
Backhandy, deep thoughts, First of all, crazy.
And we said
that he was able to hold on
that long, yeah.
Not 0.2 seconds.
And
then Cookie.
I guess I have a question for us because we didn't get to
singer. This is Madison, who is.
You have so much pain associated with this because you've. Well, we didn't. It's just someone on stage who's supposed.
And not only
insect, then you got to go with lizards. Pretty good idea.
I don't know if it's someone grabbing the handle of a.
Sure, the two bones coming together in your.
I think you just described your life.
Because I didn't
stand on because sometimes the door doesn't burning them and.
I don't
all the ear biscuits
know what this rash on my leg is. Well, first of all,
and you know what?
So just that mentality
and of
a lot of people, I have an idea to do this type of thing in this meet.
We can meet him and like hang out with Lionel Richie, all 5 of us together. Some of the things that they talked about in
childbirth with a pineapple.
And give people an adequate time to respond, which I would say is 2 seconds. Was that real quick?
But they're doing.
And then we're gonna see. Anyway, I told you that I feel like to the generation of, let's just say the millennials, or young adult and adult, whereas Narnia is clearly for young kids.
Another show that unapologetically eats ball attention. So thanks for doing that. I
like that name, by the way.
I was having fun at the gym.
Well, puts him in her mind.
I'm actually thinking about seeing that movie.
Then she looked.
They would not be as hungry.
Answer in a brand new way. The deadlift is something. The duplex.
Now let's not
sensual.
Music, but
no, but it's weird and like.
Yeah, they're donating their tails. Yeah.
I think they're about. There's no reference to the pose.
Okay,
here they had a band to
settle the conversation we were having right before we came in here because it's like
they don't shoot in the U.S.
They don't. And all your favorite but as we've established before, you went up to John C. Reilly while he was eating with his friends in a restaurant.
That was the model of the pineapple. We didn't say that she had.
Who watched the show remember the show better than we do.
They're out there roaming like my shoulder was grinding against itself for years. Man, if I could just go.
Well, you can get in there multiple ways, and I figured that in my world,
okay,
not England, but
Yeah.
Technically, right on the tip of their tongue, like. And I've always felt a little funny about meat that has been bathed in hydrocortisone cream. Specific works, but somebody whose career inspires me, and I wouldn't have done that, and I wish.
Well, no, it wasn't. I think what happened was
that quick. If we could just take all the dead people, it's your glutes, man. It's your legs. It's your upper legs. Feeling of sort of inherently.
Actually, I have a list. Stupid.
If you could like,
Look at your.
It might be worse because it sounds like two people trying to get into the same. Be Jason Momoa in about.
Okay, no, you're not.
9 months. Speaking of good names, you could write a script.
Okay, I'm over it. And now what do we want to talk about?
You can actually, if it's prepared well, but it's not for kids. It's
with global impoverishment.
Turn into just a ball of jelly. But I am also primarily, but it's a lot stronger. And so it's high school. Like it is in really good shape. It could all fall apart at any moment if I twist the wrong way. Going to engineering school would have led to this. And I have been exploring this question at the same time.
What is like showing me this footage and then he's like,
just remove the twist. Just remove the twist from.
I haven't seen enough movies to know what to.
Lee Erickson. So the way is because if I had gone and played college basketball, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
See, but that's different
now because if you're doing
Thing is people walking behind me and bumping into me.
Well, this is not a complaint session. I don't want this year grinds to a halt just like.
Okay.
So you're slicing off. You're like I just wanted to say that glutes when you die.
It sounds like someone who
need to get that loud about it
because that's what you have to do. I've been on the internet for a long time, and anytime Narnia has been soiled because the movies ate.
Are they obsessed with the pose? Because that would be a little too close.
Of world hunger. Sorry, I don't know. My lower back and just
well, that's how you exit Narnia. You should.
Well, reading this book makes me a little bit. I feel say this a lot on your biscuits. We're always thinking about and the thing is the way they communicate.
In time, I wouldn't. I ain't got time for that. It's got to be a knock it out of the park type.
Can't sleep in that configuration.
He's done all of those things.
And refuse to really be a slightly different conversation. But what are you gonna do with Back to the Future? You're gonna make, he was at Ray Lee, which is that are more intended for kids, that
situation, man. I should be talking to him.
I was like, I would be out in the woods.
That's cool.
And I would see like a tree with like a hole.
You like the,
and then you just shut up because you're nervous because you think maybe somebody's breaking in on you.
Well, no, now
The Post Malone.
I said a hip.
And create a slurry out of them.
Oh gosh.
Like Soylent Green.
What? Having right before this.
I don't know if we need to settle it. I was just pointing leads to weird diseases.
Yeah, like.
In a particular genre or medium.
I mean.
It has 2100.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we have a little bit of a head start, much. Because the other thing that they are is they're not like, and they say it multiple times in the book, like, and at that point you've got in their book, like their wives read one chapter. Like
really?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you're talking about with the glute scoops. I was just trying to go with your vibe here.
Okay. Industry story about Aquaman that I wanted to tell.
Huh?
The live action Aquaman is out.
Word is, yep. Because I know there was no hesitation.
And Lando would like ride their scooters around.
You can also, I haven't seen all their movies and I wouldn't say that like I'm a student of the Duplass brothers films and obviously very.
You don't like Rotten Tomatoes? Pete Sheridan asks, do you guys use Bizarre Foods is gone?
Put the ball in the corner. Oh, you want to go there?
No, we'll go back. Let's go back. We'll get to every situation.
Madison Wright asks, over time, like your knock and twist is.
I wonder if that impacts the viability of the meat. I was literally thinking about this yesterday, is when we're tired of being asked.
Well, I think people ask that because biscuits from the past, present, and the future will be there.
If you want to talk about cannibal,
.com/earbiscuits.
years. I did it for years.
I will say though that your shoulder issue
is expressed herein are not actual views. They're just presented as you do not sleep. Don't sleep with a
that we can't talk about. But I think that some of the.
But if you want to go back to cannibalism, I really think goes into something, and the way that he, I believe, came out of. It was
should go to. Well,
this is
hold on, because there's 3 forms of cannibalism.
Shoulder.
Okay, well, this is kind of freaky. You'll see why in a second. On Twitter, people were talking about like, are they gonna remake Back to the Future? And a lot of people, why I was looking through, as I do from time to time,
looking for
reviews on the receiving end of it many times, is what I'm saying. I've been in there, I've been kind of weird in one sense because, but the US, modern day, maybe there were other ways into Narnia. But
it's not a fun or funny answer. And we get it all. Strap him in, so it's like pelvis was like hanging up this week at the.
It's because I think ultimately.
Ashes on legs, but.
Right, you shouldn't need one. Good Mythical Morning, click the playlist on the left.
And don't forget to click the circular icon to say that if I just.
Will respond with some sort of audible.
Keep doing these exercises forever. And so then I started going to the gym.
Until you die.
But
such is one act.
Oh, that stuff doesn't, who inspired us, okay?
Weird moment in CG. Most recent or the previous?
Oh, it's concise and it's not false.
Yeah, it's just
thought about it. It's
back down, and I remember saying something like, "Okay."
So I have an answer. Do you?
Paisley said, "No, don't remake movies that were earbiscuits."
Round table of dim lighting. We ask the question. Things. That's not what we're not expanding the conversation, unless you're gonna do what? Is Middle Earth, man. I mean, and I thought
yeah, there's a suit available. It's very heavy though. Madison was
like got your leg up on the table like that's true, and then the people who they ate, I assume would die.
This would be a good book. You're in the 30th percentile after I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link.
It made a lot of money.
1.6.
This came about Narnia. They think about the movies.
Okay.
And that's why I would go into the.
I don't like to eat meat slurry. I like to eat.
Middle Earth would pick Narnia.
Okay. But for me, I'm only talking like going back.
It doesn't matter.
I'm sleeping on my back.
Or like, I feel like that was the start of the in LA too long.
All you got to do is add one more I, Pete Sheridan, and you got.
Because here's the thing that I wouldn't do.
Possibly could have been 2 handing it.
How quickly?
That was just that's patently false. I was like, I'm nervous that my shoulder is gonna be hurt.
His name, because we know someone who knows. It's been
with the musical exercise we were doing. So it was like
we're influenced by.
And it's the entire ride from the top of a mountain in Switzerland, the dude is hanging me. I mean, isn't just want to stop and tell all of you now. And I was kind of, and then so like doing.
If the rash goes to the muscle, back and like I probably would have been recruited by some.
Not renewable, but farming lizards so creative, and it's a comedy, but it's so many.
You got to get at least 30 feet away.
And then I'm like, now am I going back to let's go with Erickson here.
So like 100 pounds or something. It's like, it's just basically to just get the motion right. I've always. So you're not above going up to celebrities.
Portal.
And I was like, okay, maybe this is the Narnia. Like maybe this is the word that used to be 2 words, but because
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know if you on there. It's just like, it's the rack and then like a wheel. But there is an interesting proposition that if for some reason back problems, there's a couple other weird injuries, but
I like that name, Ray Lee Erickson.
It does sound like somebody who
scoop you. Of course, you know the illusion of an AMA is that
screw everything up if you go back and read Narnia.
So I'm in.
Okay, well hold on. This might be an exception because she was so funny in the moment. So really, that's over there.
Let's get into some questions here.
Other people are Donald Glover, but he. No. I'm saying. If you had to give an
nobody said
do that. I bet you I couldn't do 45.
So then afterward I was like,
for survival,
Life or death.
but I wouldn't make it a part of my diet. The evil
Middle Earth is very evil. We did not plan.
No.
It was an impromptu interaction.
Whenever you see
I like this jacket.
biscuits, the past year biscuits and the present year biscuits and the future interesting, you
Let's diet. I'm just saying it's a
use of our book of mythicality. I do that.
it
Yeah,
does.
it makes you feel like you're not next. It's a knock and twist. It's
Gotta be
all
quick.
one word.
I'm immediately ready if somebody knocks. Internet.
Now let me interject at this
And
point.
so that is the thing that I would Sheridan and Rayleigh Erickson, the
Okay, you want to think about that a little bit? Or freaking ear, because he just did this voiceover into like a microphone like this.
I think we're
actually the set. Not like we're a film director who's like, well, these are
rings
from the South with a. No, we just weren't good enough.
future starting in the new year.
Starting in the new year, that's where all your new biscuit
Well, I've
life, which is the idea that you have. Yeah.
You're not gonna change my mind about this then.
Well, first of all, I'm not an expert on this, but it's not like we are just guys like we're
And
not
all you do is you just run through the pasture and
like
they
a
lose
ripe peach.
you lose their tails. That's we can trace, or the internet, we can trace the things that inspire us.
In a number of places on the.
Entertainment fodder,
But let's present some answers to some questions.
like cuts of meat.
It would have additives in it.
Consistently was, how to get that loud about it.
Ask me anything
It's not
about YouTube. It doesn't turn out to be bad for you.
always so the next one.
But put out of 5 and then said, if these because if it's not an it's definitely an abomination to some people, okay?
Right.
Completely shut. Sometimes people forget to
Perspective. I did what I always
pretty interesting. Trainer has been like 281 total.
is how long I waited.
You
And-
knocked
and
things that kind of pull from your okay, go ahead.
Rayleigh Erickson asks,
It's me in a similar way. But it's
saying that's your concert. And again, he just has that mentality. He's working
on things. My derivative yet original approach to this is sticking to artistic intention
Mm-hmm.
and not compromise.
I mean, that last album is one of my favorites. You know,
That's why we put it there.
The Wall made you not even think about the fact.
No,
All
no,
that's in question. I don't want you to just start saying, well, again, it's kind of like counting out loud. Now that I've done it, I'm like, okay, now I know.
I haven't processed it. Do not have an open door bathroom policy.
I don't think it's an abomination.
A little, do the math.
It's you've been
RESPECT.
so you
With a weird obsession with Lionel Richie.
really.
Um,
Well, we are actually going to be asked.
stream. One of my favorite visual influences. Johnson.
You know what? That'd be sad.
But seriously, I mean, like you could potentially.
Hang for 100 seconds,
Must be a lot harder than it seems.
and then he's like, "How? Let's see how."
Some of his friends is making sketches.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Probably 3.
7 feet from somebody pooping.
Yeah.
Say, well, honestly, it all runs together. It's all so bad. My right
All
arm.
those situations where it's like it's more fun and more rewarding and much less.
What do you mean more?
I always get excited about telling stories and what we're.
He approaches his live shows, and he makes them so special. Y'all ask me and Rhett anything.
Farming and would be bending over and putting all the weight on. This is a full-on attack.
I'm hurt to be lumped into that idea to eat. Count them out loud.
I would
so
just say
I'm going to do it out loud.
Just remove
knock knock one.
concerned about one of us, and I don't know who I'm supposed to be concerned about it. I think one of us may be getting sick. It's what created my bad.
Around, but it's like they're started getting nervous about, and then I start thinking
You were having fun?
for 100 seconds. Not how you spell aim, but okay.
Ame.
It's was it two what or just
Another
that
thing.
would have settled. In Switzerland, who was hang gliding with
Oh gosh.
it didn't make my shoulder hurt. My shoulder was already hurting from doing some kettlebell swings a week earlier. You didn't send. It's got fur around it.
But it's interesting that we're both comfortable right now. and listen from your world. The twist will come naturally when you're like, oh, nobody's in there, and then you'll just enter into the bathroom, right? That was the.
He also explained that like the way that I would put my arm up like that, it's specifically like where the wood elves lived. They're the ones that I haven't watched it. Starts on the skin. And
it's a little different. Yeah, that would be gangrene. That's not a rash. Be okay, and then you would present it, and you'd be like, this and
isn't that in the description of all aided via opera?
Yeah, we think we're.
What questions are you tired of being asked? Hashtag ear.
Yeah, let's start with that one. My
bought me one of those trendy little skateboards, and I was like, girl.
If I had to,
I can't hold my breath that long.
This is Mythical Channel, now the GMM channel, and in an effort to continue to confuse you and mix.
That's why we hate those other two. Coming in here, and then it was like, well, hold on, I partition walled. It's lizards. Okay, you need lots of land. Answer your question.
I don't think we have to send fruit child.
No, we are not. Life wasn't in danger. I wasn't literally hovering over the Alps or wherever they were, doing this hanging challenge.
That way directly. I think we think that way. That's what she should have asked is, where do I send my resume?
But she didn't. She chose
anything that cannot be compromised. They know they're practical. They have you need to see a doctor immediately because that's not a rash.
Both of those
people who are doing, I don't know, maybe it does.
Okay. We certainly spent a lot. You need to bring in your
Emma Soft and Better on Twitter asked if you were given the opportunity. Time I read them. And the accessibility, but also
a stage show, and then we can actually do it. All right, that's 3 whole syllables.
You got it, buddy. Whatever,
By the way, did I tell you?
Unless you want to.
Did we?
Something that, we heard this pull-ups, so I think you went for 27 seconds. Do them all in an excellent way.
Yeah.
And Donald Glover is, guys were half as interesting as they think they are. Skated. On a skateboard.
Beaten.
I'm just saying, I'm in a short sleeve shirt. You're in.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
You're in like an ice age. I don't know what I was, but the first up.
I would say slink. I slinked away.
You should be listening to it. You should. Listen. Answering questions that should have gone up to him. 40th percentile.
Well, kind of like an apple gets rotten.
Jungle Book, was that good? I don't know.
Yeah, it was good. How long you can hang. Now I had what time it is.
Yeah.
Something like having fun.
Up and I'll be like, my dad? which is if we feed it to a group of
but sure. What makes you so amazing?
Right, so tired.
How are you so part of it?
So my technique is, how are you supposed to do this? It was just like, they'd put 3 wheels.
My ears were closed?
I witnessed you doing it, and I know your reaction from 2 different people in 2 different ways. Allie Dickinson asked, what is the one thing you would tell young Rhett and Link if given the mean to you?
Fresh, you can't keep winning these.
I mean,
I'm gonna walk in.
Occupied does.
I'm gonna think about it. I don't like
these private space. So I knocked, and I was like, oh, the door's open.
Us to be creative. It just requires a little.
The ring is a better.
Go to mythical.store.
When's the last time you? This is the style that I like, and this is
the time. So it's the 1-2 punch of we get it all the time, and it's not a.
Let me just say right now, my back is in better shape than it has been. You know what? You answer it first.
Well, I was at the gym, and then we really think about it. We can say
the number of times you knock.
1, 2, 3,
it's
4,
the number of program your computer to automatic. We're asked a lot.
Yeah. So we got lots of questions.
We're going to do with that as our career advances.
And the guy who trains me
and you, we were big fans of Seinfeld.
My entire head on my right arm. And I would just lay there like that, and which would
making the Lion King in a different
subscribe.
Thanks for being your mythical.
Just eating so much crazy stuff.
And don't apologize.
I walked away.
Now, if you do the knock and twist, apologize. But
we can breed a meaty-tailed lizard.
Might as well answer it. This is from
that led to her simulating child
in an effort to contribute to population control and so
related to what I'm saying, that the fact that we have aspirations in so many
live action from animation. Are you ever going to start sending me fruit? This, believe it or not, it's a question that.
And What?
Also, something that for some reason didn't seem on my senior season because my back was messed up and then
read the books.
So if you're judging it off of the movies, then you're like, no.
Lots of questions. It's an AM.
The Office, but you're like,
you know, full uncheated pull-ups. Like lock.
Well, but the interesting thing is that you're inspired by him in a similar way that now I'm thinking of story and like jerky. It's not as, if I see that the door is slightly open, I still not direct of an inspiration. So in other words, we want to do a lot of things. We want to.
Is that really necessary?
They sang Lionel covers, which I actually don't think we ever sang a Lionel cover.
That would
realized, oh, in fact.
Well, that brings our AMA to a close, but you know what, I think, I just realized something that's been obvious to everybody.
People, but don't die. That's a great answer.
Thank you, Rhett.
I actually disagree with.
Resting my, I think you're onto something.
You make remake movies that sucked.
That did technology now, like the way
remake a movie that was done well the first time is to change.
Like us.
It was this quick. It was.
I mean, we're all.
You've enjoyed
the way
it.
that Disney's remaking these movies. I mean,
on your tour in Portland.
Right.
I do for you. You'll birth to the pineapple.
Bring it on, girl. So if you think about music, or if you think about
sometimes people are like, what did you guys think was funny growing up? To jump higher was to do calf raises.
Human?
That's the worst idea.
It is. Again, they didn't care, so I actually
7 hours. And it's called Like Brothers.
But they are, brother.
Anything you say at all, really, it could be effective.
It didn't go away, but what they explained in physical therapy was you need to
build it up. And
it was
the hang glider challenge.
No,
all YouTubers are doing it. Some sort of Scandinavian name, I would think, right?
It's like that's what's happened to our.
In that we get asked almost as much, and I actually think it's my.
What?
I'm telling you, you did this.
But I didn't.
Sure, you did the knock.
I just walked away. I didn't say. Should I?
Sure. It's and that's just to name a few things.
Book a recommendation.
Yeah,
right? There you go.
They're. I hope we can. We go into a public library and write a script on all the computers and get that. Again, I don't want. I don't even want to answer this question. We're answering it. But working here, I've never had to grab the handle. Not once.
Our show. It's like.
That was like, had the, I don't know what.
By the time this comes out, this video's long gone off.
It is my understanding that eating dead people is not good for humans.
I gotta walk in on somebody.
And what are you saying now when people knock?
Skate-esque, sure.
People don't.
Me having to endure this, I grabbed the handle, but I didn't push. I was ready. I have my
a little inadequate whenever I think about this, and definitely when I'm asked it. Here's YouTube.com/earbiscuits. It's a new YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it. This, but he started on YouTube. He was
right
in Derek Comedy, which
Medium.
We don't think
episode, but maybe not as an experience at the time.
Here we go. Andy.
I think it's a good idea.
Look, it sounds like Liam Neeson is in my.
They got some fully developed tales. We're about to.
Yeah,
we're about to scare them.
It's like a crime of cannibalism is voluntary, non-fatal. Immediate. It was like in fact.
Oh, you know what? Favorite films or.
Okay, but you can't. Is probably too strong of a word. I know some. Grab the handle and it would make it taste okay.
Actually,
so I think people. It's natural to be like, well, what?
Don't eat the mush.
Like you could jump higher, not from doing calf raises. Like we were stupid. We thought that the way to
is very sensitive to it.
That's
never happened.
That was last year. I've always been sensitive.
Disney is doing these like.
Well, I should do the next
like a prime rib, and you're just slicing your. Oh God.
Well, it would have been. Oh, well, thank you. From watching new GMMs and Ear Biscuits, as well as just watching old Rhett and Link music videos, and then guys would just line up one by
time. I would go back. I guess it would be on the backside of going
child support, or do I need to bring in my mom's cousin's daughter, who's a lawyer /
even it's just exciting to so she knows that.
Yeah, right. I shouldn't have brought him up. Always intrigued me about those books, and they. I always called him Zimmerman, but that's not it.
Canceled. He's gone. Bizarre Foods is gone.
Cannibalism, where you cut off part of your body and use the term
I did it for I would not sleep on, but he looks great just having paint on him. The other one is right beside. I think the most common.
Why are you listening to this? You should go
listen with me.
But
I didn't need to share it with.
You say that you would.
Station, but sometimes you realize things that are obvious and it just feels
more so than just eating meat.
What
I think
they've died from.
And
but you're saying you could survive.
Even if
it was a stress
stories, but they're always telling it kind of through the perspective. Not answer me everything. That would be an aim. No contest. There's no contest between.
Could have been looking for a wardrobe.
No, but there's more. Anywhere else podcasts are available.
To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch GMM videos back when you guys started, I wanted to know what content
voice. He had time to respond.
I'm telling
you know what? Months ago, last Christmas.
How did that happen?
Christy.
I think they spent a lot of money. They spent what was the budget on?
And there's not one in.
Twist is just intrinsic to entering.
I think
door.
I just had to pee really badly.
I would say 95 to 98 to knock on the door. On the other hand, it almost sounded simultaneous.
You are undermining. See, if you think that I.
So I've always had this respect, and Allie Dickinson, someone who inspired.
They weren't as magical as they needed to be. To some questions.
So we got sweatshirts too, push it open.
Together. Oh, you don't get both those together. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies in the theater.
On each side. Well, I already said that if
me,
she was like, yeah, you'd be somewhere in Wisconsin.
I went 45 seconds.
Oh.
Do you say something back? Because, hey, I knocked earlier at the other, at least for, or not and just has a rash.
Yeah, well, no, I had a blast doing.
Muscle is a balance.
The first person to get.
What's the grossest thing you guys have ever eaten on GMM? That we get that question. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Because I know how to do things.
Oh, it's me.
Right. Oh, and that's
to me
open to interpretation.
I feel like it's one of the total for all three films.
I think you're pitching a remake that is like that.
560 million? They create a soylent from dead human tissue, and if it was merchandise over there at
different stuff at those
Amazon.
2 stores. Torted arm. Use common sense.
And sleeping on your back is great for you.
I anticipate
real bad like herniations and I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna. Some of you may have really liked the movies, but it was in terms of how impact.
Who knew that when you ask a question, a lot of people are like
total for all
really excited
films.
about that, But
hold on, came one word.
Never thought of
it. Walk in, and it'll cure me. I think I just gotta on a coat.
Were you cold?
And I would put my hand behind my neck.
We watched SNL growing up, and we would bond over the latest jacket, and then they get excited. It's blood. Will it taco? Did artists interviewed looking in the mirror too, and it would have been like a really cool thing.
I didn't need it to be for anybody else.
To it because when people amount of time, I was just like nobody's in there. I'm saying I haven't.
But that was really hard. But my life.
Hold on.
Prosecution.
I don't think you have a leg to stick with, man. The independent. But it stretches your face or something.
Get litigated. Lock no one in the bathroom and then nobody can get in.
I've been there before. But
that happened just out.
I do my business now. But I would do it, like I said.
Many times. I mean, we could also institute just to open.
Our age or a little bit older, and I think just because it just seemed like a good answer at the time.
Shoulder was already, I wouldn't have this pain now.
There was some other.
Also that within.
And practical, they come from a very,
that's like us,
practical place where is just this, you listen to somebody's story of
defeated because I was really excited to drop a deuce in that bathroom.
Get that shirt at amazon.com/saw it.
It's crazy. He doesn't die, which makes it fun.
Form of cannibalism in my mind. Even more least favorite question than what you just said because I don't have an answer for it. Anything at all.
Your whole leg, you would just remove.
Like a calf muscle.
Just part of
no, because then you're not gonna be able to hear when they say anything. It's the amount of time you wait. You gotta give it 3 seconds.
It's only really singles.
Yeah, he's just in
But then-
and it locked on me.
I knocked. I didn't hear
You
anything
knocked
and I grabbed the
immediately
handle.
grabbed the handle.
You know, and then the way that Atlanta is ham hock,
Yeah.
like a owner for that year.
You would
not.
well dreaded butterfly effect.
So this type of question, if you could go back, blah 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 blah. Is this the butterfly effect? Why are your eyes getting so? By pocket we mean crotch. So I don't know. And then it's like Feldman's desk. Live action remakes, like like the Lion King is third.
I know, that's how weird it would be in terms of like establishing it. Let's put it this way. It made me mythical. We do have a thing with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, sure, there's lots of like sort of the traditional things that
Guess what I'm really saying is I'd like to live in the I want to do a low budget. I'll be Aquaman. Go there, and if you can hold on for you want to
that you started thinking
No,
about the gym. And I was doing the deadlift sizes, and of course, for entertainment purposes only. This is a and said, my son's name is Lando. Well,
can't blame him.
Time is not.
I guess I don't disagree with that.
So I think I heard you say it the other day. You're saying yep now too?
Yeah. Our favorite television shows, we can
series.
Counting seconds in my head though, because they're always faster than they are in practice. I have to
have read at some point that people eating people
awaken my love, which is, I mean,
some people don't knock at all, and I think
that's horrible.
In my at this point, it's a knock and twist.
My response to a knock is very quick. They're bred for their meaty tails, and they're at different stages.
You'd have a Link Jr. And
I'd have my dad. If I am going to complain, it's going to be about these 6 things.
It has influenced the way that I make the funny, but also like very directly, right? Someone who worked in some costume design on sort of changed the way that in fact, I was telling her, I was like, it kind of changed. Brothers, Mark and Jay Duplass, they've got a book that I'm listening better than we do. But I did recently answer that question that, and then you see him and you're like, that's just Liam Lizard Tails.
Some?
I mind, your knock and twist is the same as no knock at all. It's so jarring.
Right, it doesn't regenerate though.
But you can.
That's why it is a twist, is not the Legos. Lego can do that.
Okay.
Lego.
If it translates.
Lego Back to the Future. That's my answer at least for right now.
That's a good answer.
If I could go back in time, I probably.
Which is cool because it's been done.
And he tore his bicep and he hurt his shoulder. And then we have one more answer. You inspire us.
Oh, wow.
By listening.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's why I'm going to the gym, man. I'm gonna be from live action, which is weird. You can definitely go to.
Great response. It's kind of like us. I realized that, cause like.
Bold, man.
Link,
Knocked and immediately lowered the hand to the handle. Not in California.
We're not gonna send you fruit child support. Yeah, so
/ mythical.
check them both out.
For those of you who are like, I'm only gonna do it on Amazon.
What? Yeah.
Dude, for months, and then you just give it to him and he's like, too heavy.
Getting a closer look.
No. Magnus Mar Pal. And remember specific details of the show is on YouTube.
At anything.
Yeah, because you grab the handle. At that point, they're just trying to get in and they're like, well, I guess the lock's gonna office who does the 1-2 combo and makes everyone
Think about it.
You're gonna because it's nerve-wracking. You feel like somebody's coming in the door.
Well,
and they are brothers. Interesting, isn't it? But nobody on the internet. The rightful the symbolism, okay? And I don't know the technical terms.
Sleeping position and it put together. Pete.
But Madison.
And can you dress as Aquaman? Him, not you.
I think that lizard tails are probably not as good of an idea. The evil in
stretches your face. Why we read it?
I gave birth to a pineapple.
Why do you need?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
okay, just knee-jerk response to this for me.
Yep.
I think this just says that we're like old and decrepit.
The only way to acceptably who both the way they did him at a local a local place.
Said anything,
No,
Mr.
No.
Setting of stand.
Percent of the occupants in this office, ask me anything.
How do you subscribe? To feed the world.
I don't know. Just something about it just seems, this is the entire movie.
Answer that we say all the time.
I have.
But then I feel the need to say, where does this happen?
This is the most interesting form.
It's just, I love the way you,
Thanks for asking.
oh, how tall are you?
5'19".
Isn't
Landic jacket.
It up and I think they played more in,
Focused on that. And when somebody knocks,
do you think
it was incredibly memorable. And actually was,
listen.
In all my years of film situation, of the handle with my mouth, it was, but before we do that, Link, you have on a jacket that people.
The Lion King.
Yeah, I was like,
It's not
Donald
technically.
Glover's in it. And then I was like, no, he's not.
Rotten Tomatoes and the audience likes.
Gave it to Jason Momoa and he like picked it up and was like, it's too heavy.
That can't be true because you know what?
Yeah, I was rapping in front of Post Malone. Rapping
Same as just a phantom twist.
I would put 3 wheels on each side.
Before we get into other people's questions, my question is, can we settle the conversation that we were having? Tatiana Col.
These are the DPs that I like. These are the directors that I like.
I don't know what this is gonna be.
What's your favorite episode of Good Mythical Morning?
Oh, your favorite episode.
Do you want me to move on? Dude, I just thought it was funny.
Oh.
But you know what you should do? You know what else is interesting? Who have this vision, this other question.
Kevin Mata asked, this is what actually ironically got me to start going to the gym.
At the gym?
You
And
wouldn't-
whether you eat your own self,
No, hold on.
I don't know.
You wouldn't-
I haven't thought that
You
far.
wouldn't remove, yeah, it was kind of weird.
So it started pretty early.
Well, my physical therapist, because I went to physical therapy.
I'm just saying, being on, I don't know how it is for you. You don't know because no one else does.
It's at my house all the time. I'm gonna remake Aquaman. Like I'm on an MA episode.
Movie, the entire world there.
And I honestly had, well, let's camp out here, shall we?
As like a single digit.
And maybe that's what ruined it.
We're both comfortable.
Isn't it?
Listen to that Duplass Brothers book. But anyway, you gotta time it better than that.
I never
Just
went
like
back.
your time your knock and twist.
You're like at
I could go back and tell my younger self like environment, you'd be very memorable. And I think I remember after she did that, she sat back. I would pick Narnia as sort of impossible standard that we can always sort of aspire to and never reach. But
I do like Evangeline, whatever her name, Lily though.
But they actually had the wherewithal to hire you guys. That's a good question. MMP?
It's not gonna kill you.
It's
not nutritionist?
I seem to, this week,
No, okay.
so we all don't die, we're eating my leg.
That's really what
It was,
they met him?
yeah, I think we told the story about meeting.
Hold on a second,
A lot of
and I'm
people
gonna do it
don't
well.
know. A lot of people don't know. Okay, not bad. If I could go back, I
The
would,
door opens.
well, no, I'm saying when I didn't hear anything.
Allow me to spoon Christy. Okay? I'm just saying. And after that grinding,
Design intention,
corner pocket.
right in the pocket. Back in the day are still on YouTube. And
Well, I'm not saying it's all you eat. I'm not trying to say that but
it
billion
was
gross.
successful because of the IP, man.
Yeah, but what about Lord of the Rings?
280.
Identify or pigeonholed as any particular.
But I did watch what is so special to me from the slept on my back and not cultivated this habit of sleeping on my right side.
It was like it would go bad after a while. If you've all you're eating is glute scoops for days on end.
If you were given the opportunity to remake a movie, you want to go at once, can. That is really nice.
Yeah, I actually was
Really nice to find. But the elves are like, they speak calmly and
going to
verse. And then I'm like,
me. I got super
amazing.
tired of
It's
that.
probably,
Was when they were in high school. For us, I think it may have been when we were middle school, is when we were like really connected. And I have to say, yep, you gotta.
I'm gonna knock 5 times from now on.
It's not peel the skin off.
Does the rash go to the muscle? Really?
Literally, the gym is where, and it was literally.
But I do think we should glute scoops. At the time,
A little nerve wracking.
I would say
Months, like this question makes that is eating your friends after they've already died. That is a form of cannibalism.
I'm probably just getting hot. Right.
Well, if 100 seconds gives you $100, it means that it spent like
Relevant to your point though.
anyway.
Have a whole bunch of them, and then they're in state.
Shoot in the U.S.
There you go.
That do the job?
You realize that
That's
like
the
a
muscle.
jerky. It would be like that because, sure, me and you have been heavily on the fast side. Our history, our shared history, is such a part of the epic smallness of your own life, and
that one guy who you walked in on apparently does defend me in my knock and twist, which
changed the way I played basketball.
full environment back.
Oh, the bile was ridiculously horrible. So yeah.
Wow, I'm glad you brought that up.
As just farming insects and also,
Good warriors.
here's the thing, you would be,
So many more things than that, and each episode can to be creative in all the different mediums, which means I can't think of it in a lot.
every Q&A.
And that's a fair question because it's just the first one that basically like if you were to raise your hand right now and then pick telling this story. On the first day of first grade.
Well, the other question, if you just do the knock and
I think the reason why it's so annoying is because we haven't come up with just that question I get asked is, but I don't even know. So it's in sleep. That's why this is a bad idea.
I mean, I got glutes for days. I've been doing lots of deadlifts. So I feel like with less weight and you got the form right, like, yes.
Boy, it's nothing
sounded
quite as
sincere.
inspiring as giving us something. You and Rayleigh Erickson can eat dead people.
Though, and this is gonna be controversial, and it actually leads into another question that we were at. Be divorced, remarried, you'd have someone else nervous. Maybe there's other people that do it. All I know, Andrew
Kind of,
but
I don't see a lot of movies.
Clearly.
Right, yeah.
working on this thing and like handcrafting it thing. And it's just that's not how we, of what they know and how they see it happen with Lord of the Rings. Like, it was a narrative film yet, but when we sit, right? I mean, that's seems to be better than, just letting them ride.
Is this pasture over here of lizards is, they got some, right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta get excited about it. You have to make it
So
seem
go
like
over there
you're
and
excited. More of our daily show use the term
There's lots of, yesterday morning.
We're so
why,
tired of answering it.
But I think the reason why we're tired of answering is because
Actually.
you never thought about it?
Seriously, full exposure.
I did knock. Yeah,
Which, first of all, for me, I'm only at the gym. I'm at the gym because two ball into the corner pocket.
For the people who go there, and they're events. They're not just a constant bathroom. The hidden poop bathroom, and I'm pretty sure that was Alex's. But you're right. Zimmern.
But it wasn't. I mean, he ate a lot of balls. The thing that was that's super interesting, okay? Because
I kind of think in my brain it's like the Ewok village. So weird because I'm the go over there and describe. I haven't done, but an answer did come to my mind, which is inspiring.
Yeah,
test.
It was like, can you do it? Can you, Narnia? Okay, and the reason is inspiring me.
Ew.
And now this,
look at her now.
Queen.
I wish I could go back to my childhood and read those scales.
It's like scales, and they were like.
I was like, man, it's
I'm gonna do that.
It's so frustrating.
Down to do that. And as I was doing it, and I don't put hardly any weight on their influences and references to other work.
Comes to your mind when, I told you this morning. I don't know why this is not much of a realization.
That's the rule. Okay, so you can go to animation.
The creative terms with which you're saying so after I did the hand on this lock, you don't say anything?
On its own YouTube channel, youtube.com/, etc. Inspires another thing.
Instead of us,
sometimes,
okay, fine. Let's do it.
It seems
shirt. It's a black
skate-esque.
Black shirt and it says mythical on it. It's like that's.
I say you got a lot of your brain is currently, but I want to talk this. I mean, I will just pucker right up and everything stops for a moment.
Do it. We'll talk.
Co-founder of the company was just talking about that.
No, I was at the gym and my shoulder started hurting, and this is related to my.
Pick a place because I would be like, oh, I'd like to live in Rivendell, but
The more annoying.
no, and
yeah,
Lorne Mike.
Thanks. After my pull-ups, right?
And so the fact that you went up to the bathroom and I knocked on it, and then Rayleigh Erickson arrested for cannibalism. Well, you know what? We thought about you.
You know what? Let's get into
ability to like there is a wardrobe that you can go through. Like there's a place
that are just that. We have a tremendous opportunity given the way that we've been successful.
Watch Seinfeld in high school. One that makes me feel the coolest.
In being supported by the weight of a strap, it wore down the cartilage and cushiony stuff, and now
like I have to have a lot of qualifiers here. Because I, as opposed to work that we do, and we're talking all the time about our past, and then we also say, including
0 subscribers? We're not, I thought we were repurposing a channel. We should have asked them about their experience.
And here's the full, be careful what you ask
Dressed as Aquaman. And they can benefit from, I was doing some pull-ups and then new answer to this.
Okay.
Like I'm really inspired by Donald Glover because of the way that he's telling the story of how we remade it. Would you age it up? Because that wouldn't be true to the books. And I think that out there, and there's 2 bathrooms, and the doors are shut on both of them.
Can I get a picture with you? Stick my head in the technology.
Right. Yeah.
Not quite as weird as like 5 years before that. Tribute to your vertical leap. A very, very small amount. I feel really good about some things that we're working on in terms of like things.
Probably end up in Hobbiton, just eating and gardening.
You do not speak back to a person.
It's like, yep. It's like, okay, I'll be waiting right out here listening. Find out that you've inspired somebody.
It will be housed.
But we're not in the new year yet. We're in the now year.
You can subscribe now though. You said that.
Mm-hmm.
But just something about the way that you have this.
So why, is a butterfly about to come out of them?
Because it's weird that independently you went, Narnia is significantly less threatening than the evil in listening to, it's like a short audiobook that's like together. So
of course.
So they were a band together and midstream.
Now I see why in order to survive, yes.
And in my mind,
your shoulder and rubbing against each other and then being in traction.
One thing in your lives, could be a correction of a mistake or skipping out. There are these places that you can enter into the world. So it created this, I had this imagination, Central High School at the time, weightlifting class wasn't like that.
To reinvent what the show is.
Be like, we're not gonna make like a funk album.
Just something that like
Yeah, and your whole life would be different if you slept on your back 5 years ago, man.
No,
surgically removed in a sterile.
For one, and it did kind of suck. Thanks for that vote of confidence. Be with Rihanna.
But they made more money. They made more than 1.6 billion. 2.9 billion, so tired of it.
You got any other ones? You wanna, let's move on.
GI point. You should be listening to it as well.
An opportunity, so you knock, and then you have to get some, you should just move on.
Right, 5
and that critique of it. Is it that?
No, there are movies, okay, I'm gonna make the noise
and Allie.
If you could place yourself in any fictional universe, you can't.
Cannibalism would solve world hunger and
wonderful quintupled. Here's there was no listening, eating. I think that's unhealthy.
What, I mean, it obviously depends on fun. Let's start there, because
it's a beautiful name.
I don't there at the time.
Because again, I don't really know. It's like there's a lot of episodes of Future Ear Biscuits. So anyway.
Well, that's a good book.
This is the entire fictional universe. The first form is like the movie.
My trainer guy, he was like, there's this.
It might happen at the gym, but it was in relationship to an injury. So I wouldn't go back, man.
I'm glad you mucked up your back, man.
And
but from the picture. Second of all, Pete, don't send a picture.
Divide their work up in terms of like one's kind of the starter and one's kind of the finish. Like your calves are control. You'll work on his, probably in books were for me personally.
But I think,
first of all, we shouldn't be telling this person's story. We should be telling our story. Now they tell a bunch of different.
So I don't know. It wasn't the, but as an I don't know what to say to
like bending like that. And you know what?
That Ewok Village, if that were within middle of.
You need to go back and change one.
Man for that.
Not sure we settled anything. The way they related the real world.
Every movie that I've seen, I only see movies if they're.
But we're always thinking and doing things. Again, I feel like
live performance, movies, not different. Yeah, we were too cool for that. I don't know how to identify a challenge where I can't remember where he said television that I was a little tired, and then I started hanging, okay?
Bathroom door while I'm doing my business.
They were more mysterious.
A very particular perspective and background, and you kind of get in the middle. It's just Sheridan.
Oh, okay. Pete Sheridan asks, you look at a particular
work with people and they know how to try to get their vision, but also do it in a practical way that like satisfies. Like Soylent Green is people. Spoiler alert.
Changed.
But again, working on introducing more exercise. Biscuits, finally.
Whoa.
What? Ask me anything.
Do not get.
Ask me
why
anything.
you
I can walk totally
insane.
But I also think that
their tails for consumption could help.
Middle of it, and you get too close of it, and you can kind of discount. Oh, we're inspiring about them.
I was thinking that my shoulder has started hurting again.
Hold on, you're joking.
Seems pretty indefensible at this point.
But no,
I'll agree.
Can't buy, but you have on a shirt that people can buy.
Look at this. It's a mythical.
Good idea.
This is like Elon Musk.
Pretty much sucked.
Oh.
So I think when they think,
let's say all the questions we're not gonna answer, I guess. Well,
Magnus Marpayson.
Hand over it. It was almost a hover, and you misinterpreted that as a.
I've been in, like
our lives are continue to mirror each other, man.
I was
fresh on. If people ate each other,
capture. There was a cheesiness to the movies that
it's not a renewable resource. So that's to say, yep.
But when movie Alive about the soccer team that gets stranded in the Alps.
Any of these different genres, like we want to
things up. We're going to be putting all. Okay, all right.
See, you have the cute answer. It's like with the question you get all the time, you should have a cute answer.
In order to make that a profitable proposition, no more than 5% of people. Zing.
Yeah,
handmade Aquaman suit. Right now, because I tend to be like influenced by things as I'm kind of exploring them.
Who are we to generalize?
I get a lot of ideas and inspiration from you guys. Wow.
All right,
hold on. You're like, what? Are you cold?
No, I have.
Yesterday.
What?
Yesterday morning.
Hey guys, welcome. So, today I'm going to be reacting to Cookie Girl. Yeah, and let's just get right into it. Okay? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. So there's a man staring at a screen. Okay. Yeah. And he's noticing there are like cookies on the table. And little crumbs. And this is making him feel something, I guess. And the cookies, they're like all crumbled up. So I guess like someone ate them, which I think is a really not nice thing to do to someone's cookies. And they're like leaving this trail. And he thinks it's weird, I guess. He's making these faces. Okay, so he's like following the cookie trail. Like it's going to lead him somewhere. Probably to like the culprit. Oh! Oh, it's me! I'm right there. I'm in the video. I was just laying there. That's really fun. That's really fun. I had the cookies all along. Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was really cool. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's it. Well then, yeah, goodbye.